Welcome to The American Dream. I'm your host, Kara Kay. We're the show that goes against the grain of the negative media. Today we've got a great show for you. We interview a lot of awesome authors who have stories behind their success. It's going to be really interesting to watch, so let's get started.
Every single day you are consumed with information. With the 24/7 negative news cycle and the pop culture that's polluting the airways, all selling out for the ratings game. Well, guess what? There's a more positive way to look at life. You live in the greatest city in the greatest country on the planet. Every day with our elite network of professionals, our goal is to educate, empower, and engage. And now it's time to fight for your American dream. Now for the word on the American dream. Recently, I went on a trip to South America. Had a great time. Vacations are always nice, but what better place to come back to the United States of America? When you're in a foreign land, there's always that risk. It's always a little sketchy. You can wander into bad neighborhoods. Here, you injure yourself, you can get treatment. You need a car, get an Uber. You're retired, you're a vet, you're disabled, you can get government assistance. And speaking of that government assistance, it's more payout here than doctors get in other countries. So we try and celebrate the fact that we live in the greatest country on the planet. In fact, one that millions of people want into and a voluntary military protects. We should be proud of that. That's why you watch this show. It's a bipartisan message that we bring to you every week. And that's today's word on the American dream. Now let's start the show where we are empowering yours. Let's get it started. Hey, Craig Sewing here, your host of The American Dream. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I want to invite you to engage in the conversation outside of the show. How do you do that? Visit us online and on social media. We have so much activity happening there. Full interviews, resources, all kinds of cool stuff that you can engage with us and our conversation and help support the American dream, where we're combating all that negative stuff you see in the media. But don't forget, I also want to be your #1 consumer advocate. So anything we can help you with, finance, real estate, mortgage, tax planning, estate planning, even credit scoring, we have the resources and the relationships that we can help you. Visit us online, engage in the conversation on social media, and don't forget, we want to empower your American dream, so reach out if you ever need anything. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, and thank you so much for following us on social media and engaging in the conversation. Cheers to your American dream. All right, welcome back to the American Dream. We got a really special guest coming in hot from Seattle, the CEO of Real Estate Social, host of The Moment, Jeramy Poole. Woo. Good to have you in studio, brother.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it.
So I got to share a stage with you a couple weeks ago in Seattle. You brought a big audience together.
Absolutely.
And had a lot of fun doing that with you. Tell us about your passion behind The Moment.
Well, The Moment is a really special show for me. I started it in April 3rd. It was all around the idea of entrepreneurship and what it takes to take your business to the next level. At the time, I was still a mortgage lender.
That's your background.
That is my background.
Yep.
And after talking to
we
a lot
have that
of,
in common.
Yeah, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And after talking to a lot of top brokers in my market, which is Seattle, I found that everybody who kind of went from going paycheck to paycheck, kind of doing okay in real estate to now making millions of dollars had a moment. Whether they filed for bankruptcy or they had a divorce or something terrible happened. It was that time in their career, in their life, where they had to go deep inside and say, who am I? Be honest with themselves and say, how am I going to pull myself out of this? How am I going to take myself to that next level? And it hit me that everybody has a moment. And I thought it would be just, a lot of fun to just expose that to people. Because I think in real estate, it's glamorized on Facebook and Instagram. You see the cars, you see the suits, you see the wealth.
Yeah,
but
a lot of posing as well.
A lot of posing. But those individuals are some of the realest people, the kindest people who have so many lessons. But I think the world of real estate, you sometimes want to stay so polished and you're not willing to be authentic and say, at one point in time, life was not so shiny. And so I think sharing that with the world of real estate, the world of people who want to take their life to the next level, it's important for them to hear that.
What I liked about your event is there's so many people that hide behind webinars. You have those online wantrepreneurs, and that's where
I never heard that term.
That's where I kind of reference the posing. You know, there's a lot of people that will verbally vomit on social media, but you know there's not much going on behind it.
Absolutely.
You opted to actually put your neck on the line. I've done these events. They're not cheap to do.
No,
you have to attract sponsors. You have to deliver value to sponsors. Then you got to deliver value to the paying audience.
Yes.
That's a big risk you took.
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you, it was scary. This was the second big event I did. A year prior to that, we rented out the Tacoma Glass Museum. It's an 8,400 square foot building and we decided that we're going to throw a big gala, black tie event. We got a lot of large corporate sponsors to help us throw. It was like a $50,000 party. And so from there, we launched the show a few months later, The Moment, and the vision was always to make this a real life show. You know, basically Oprah, except I'm only half black and I'm a dude.
And you do talk like Barack Obama, which we learned at that event. You might pick up on that out in the audience.
Yeah, and so the vision was to rent out a large theater and do The Moment live. And then sort of on the front end and the back end, sandwich it with TED Talk style presentations. And so it was just this vision that we had, and we just put one step in front of the other, and on January 26th, we wound up having around 340 people show up and show their support.
So The Moment is the event that you did. Real Estate Social is...
So Real Estate Social is a marketing and media company that's designed to help those individuals who see real estate as a viable platform to take their life to that next level.
So it's very real estate centric.
It's very real estate centric, and if you're trying to build a brand, which I think you have to do in this space in 2018, you must become a brand if you want to cut through the noise and rise above. And so that's basically what we help people do, whether it's luxury listing videos or lifestyle videos or this kind of stuff. Just finding individuals who are dead set on taking their life and their business to the next level in real estate and make them more of a brand.
How important is brand?
It's huge. It's huge because I don't really think that brand on a corporate scale really matters as much anymore. It's about the personality.
Sure.
And so that's what I found. You know, like I said, I went from just a Joe Blow mortgage lender doing pretty good, but not crushing it, to becoming a brand in my own right within a year just by doing videos and being authentic and sharing who I am on the inside as well as on the outside.
What's the future of Real Estate Social?
The future of Real Estate Social is we want to expand. At this point in time, a few months ago, I was confident about our business model because it's so different, but now I'm absolutely convinced that we can help a lot of people. We want to expand to San Diego, Los Angeles, Toronto, New York, and Austin, Texas within the shortest period of time possible.
Big goals, Jeramy Poole. Well, congratulations on a successful event. Appreciate you having me speak on stage. Good to have you on our stage here on The American Dream.
It's a great pleasure. I'm so excited to be here.
Cheers to your American Dream. All right, more of the show coming up next.
Join our fight against the negative media. Engage in the conversation online.
Johnny, you won! You won! Grandma?
There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't right. I wasn't right. I wasn't. You hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
All right, welcome back to The American Dream. I have an awesome guest with me, Vernon Mortensen. He's a screenwriter, a producer. He's lived a long life, which is what's led him to where he is today. Vernon, thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Cool. So I know that you've been in the military. You are now a producer. Talk to me, a little bit about, you've lived an interesting life, as a missionary's son. Talk to me about where you've been and what's led to you being where you are today.
Yeah, so my parents were in the Peace Corps and then they became missionaries. I was born in Bangkok, Thailand, and I lived all over Asia, the South Pacific, Central South America. When I was 12, they moved me to the United States so that I could go to school here. I graduated from high school and I joined the U.S. Navy and went right back overseas. So I've traveled extensively all my life. And then later as a filmmaker, making movies. I've made a movie in Mexico City, traveled all over Europe for the markets to sell and buy movies and stuff like that. So it's been a great adventure. I feel blessed, like I'm living the American dream.
It seems like it, because I know that you going different places, obviously America's amazing, but going other places is really where you can get inspiration and bring it to people. Is that what you feel like you've done?
Yeah, they say as a writer, as a screenwriter, they say write what you know. Well, I kind of took that to heart and I was like, well, I don't know enough, I need to know more. So go out into the world, get experiences, get to know people. The world is an amazing place. Don't stay in one spot too long is kind of my philosophy. And yes, it informs everything that you write. It always ends up. Recently, I sent out a short story that I wrote years ago to a producer, and they were kind of blown away. And it was based on something that happened to me when I was in the military. So, you know, building that short story kind of got me an in with them, and talking about developing another story now. And so it's, you know, it's really rounded me as an artist as well.
Sure, that was going to be my next question. I know with your military background, does that play a huge part in what you're filmmaking?
You know, what's funny is that for the longest time I avoided having anything military in my work, because I didn't want to be that person who, like, that's what you do.
Sure.
But unfortunately, Hollywood, they like to know that that's what you do.
Mm-hmm. It's about who you are as a human and why you produced something.
Right.
That makes sense.
And so it has started to slowly creep into the work that I'm doing. I have a television pilot that I'm sending out this season. The pilot season is here.
Is this the pilot you were working on? By the way, he didn't sleep last night, and he's still doing wonderfully. So you didn't sleep last night. You're putting together the pilot. Is this the pilot?
That's the military training. You can keep going for days without sleep. But yes, this is the same pilot. And it is based on, at least in part, on the job that I used to do in the military. So, and then I turned into a sci-fi kind of action adventure thing, and that's kind of what I got known for doing, was writing adventure stuff, action stuff. So
that's what people want to see: the action, the adventure, and you. I mean, you've been there yourself.
But I want to write comedy.
Okay.
No.
Is that what I was going to say? Is that where you're transitioning
I do love comedy. I have written a couple of sitcoms. I usually have to do them on my own because nobody will take me seriously as a comedy writer because I write action.
Well, can you combine the two? Is that a possibility?
Some writers have had that luck. You know, I know a couple writers who have been able to, you know, have a career where they can do both. Mm-hmm. And sometimes their stuff is funny and full of action, you know, like a good Jackie Chan movie or something, you know?
Sure.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, I mean, people love those.
Yeah.
You could do like a military Rush Hour.
Actually, no, Ross LaManna, the guy who wrote that.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, but it's, you know, yes, there's a market for action and comedy, but I'm kind of known as that, like, really fast-paced action writer.
That makes sense. So you have branded yourself kind of in the work that you've put out. Right. It's gone over really well, and now you kind of have this.
And in Hollywood, they want to know what you do.
Got it.
What are you? I need to put a label on you. Yes. So this is what you are, so you stay that way.
How funny. And if you try to go outside of the box, it's almost like, what is Vernon doing? What is he up to? Could it, you know, could you kind of mold it to where it's like, you know, guess and...
Yeah, you know, usually it would require me to go out and do something on my own without the help of anyone else and prove that I can do it.
Okay.
Or if I write something that's really, really good, I've had people tell me my sitcom is really, really good, but what's really funny is those people that tell me that are also in my same genre. They're action writers.
Right. Oh, yeah, they're like,
so they're like, oh, this is funny,
comedy.
you know, and then you're like, yeah, well, I need someone else who can actually make that happen.
Yes.
Tell me it's funny. So, you know, yeah, I would love to, but action pays the bills, and I love action. I love fun action stuff.
It seems like that's what you're good at. That's what you know. Well, are there any other projects that you have coming up that you would want anyone to know? I mean,
everybody has a passion project, and I have one, but it's years away from being able to be produced because it's like all this other stuff gets in the way, and you got to make a living, and it's a tough business, and so. You know, I had a conversation last night with some of my students about how it's a treadmill. Mm-hmm. You get on it, you sell something, you've got money, but it's not a month-to-month paycheck thing. So you've got to sell something else.
Exactly.
And it's got to keep going. It's got to keep going.
Well, Vernon, you are the man for screenwriting, producing. It sounds like you've lived a long life of awesome things. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
Are you interested in real estate, business, entrepreneurship, or finance? Then check us out online and be sure to follow us on social media.
All right, welcome back to The American Dream. The theme of the show is authors. I have the queen of business law herself. I have Kelly Bagla. She's written a book. She's an entrepreneur. What haven't you done, Kelly? You are awesome. It seems like you've done so much. So touch on kind of what your background is. Where did you come from?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Kara. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I was born and raised in England, hence the funny accent. I'm also an attorney, but don't hold that against me. So how many attorney jokes are there, Kara?
I'm going to let you say all of them to me, and I feel like this is leading into one of them.
Well, actually, there's only 3, because the rest of them are true, right?
Oh, see? I had a
so
feeling.
Everybody knows attorneys have such an awesome reputation. Everybody does. But I'm not just an attorney, I'm also an entrepreneur.
You're hardworking, it seems like.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. You have to love what you do.
Exactly.
And based on what I love doing, I've written a book. I am an author of Go Legal Yourself.
Which I have right here. So
And
Go Legal Yourself. And this stemmed from what you've started, and there's literally an elephant in the room that we have to address. So
Literally.
And I love this. So this was born on TV. This is on the Toy Box, which is basically the Shark Tank for toys.
Correct, yes.
So touch on literally the elephant in the room. How did this come, where did the inspiration come from?
Well, about 5 years ago, I started on this project. So it does take time to create something from scratch to take it out to public. And I stuck to my guns. The elephant was given to me when I was a child by my mom, and this particular elephant had very big ears. And so a long time ago, I thought it would be fantastic to share the same sort of feeling that I had growing up, having a best friend with big ears, so other kids out there can have the same feeling as well. And like you just mentioned, I was on the Toy Box. I was one of the winners.
That is awesome. And I heard that the kids voted. Well, who better to judge your toy than, the kids themselves who will be playing with it?
Exactly. So the kids voted, the host voted, and Mattel and Toys R Us, they voted as well.
Wow.
And so Adorables was born on TV. It's made by Mattel, and you can actually purchase it now online at Toys R Us.
That is awesome. And I'm not even a kid anymore, and I love this. It comes with a surprise inside. So it's huge. It's born on TV, made by Mattel.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I'm going to put our elephant back down just so we can focus on. So this really was, you started a really successful business. People got behind it. And then now you wrote a book. There are so many books, but talk about what yours touches on and why it's different.
Absolutely. As I was mentioning earlier, I am also an entrepreneur, and I know how hard it is to start a business, to run a business, let alone, know the legal ins and outs of a business, because that's one thing that will get business owners and entrepreneurs in trouble, is not knowing the legal ins and outs. So I thought, well, as a business owner, you don't go to law school, right?
Right.
And I'm making it as simple as possible for the entrepreneurs out there, how to start a business, how to grow a business, and then eventually how to exit a business and picking the right option for that entrepreneur.
When you say exiting a business, is that an option for selling the business?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can sell the business, you can forward it on to family members if they're involved. You can have your employees purchase the business as well. You can even go public.
Interesting.
So it depends on your type of business and how you would like to exit the business.
And it's all different. And if you read this book, you'd get a better understanding of what would be the best way to exit the business.
Right. So this book is literally written where I'm answering everyday questions that entrepreneurs and business owners want to know. For example, what type of entity should I be? When do I trademark? How do I grow my business? What are the legalities I need to know, especially in the great state of California?
Right.
And so this book really addresses the most important questions that every entrepreneur is asking themselves. There's so much information out there, Kara, so much. And I thought, and most of it is not worth the paper it's written on.
Sure.
So I thought it was time to set the record straight, and I had to write this book.
Good for you. Obviously, you are a true testament to what you've written in this book, because you have started your own successful business. So who better to ask than an attorney who has started her own business?
Yeah, a funny attorney at that.
A funny attorney, exactly. She tells jokes, you guys. This couldn't get any better. So what else is behind, your inspiration and what you do? Who are you as a person, and how does your personality kind of come out in this book?
Well, as a person, again, you have to love what you do. And when I'm not practicing law, I get bored. Hence, Adorables, right? So I do have a creative side as well. But I truly have gone through the process, Kara, and I can help other entrepreneurs go through the same process as well. If you have an idea, you're passionate about it, how do you take it to the next level? How do you actually create it to be a real live item, a real live thing? And then following that all the way through, Obviously, some people don't have the financial backing to do everything themselves. There are multiple options for entrepreneurs to get their products out there. And like you said, I am a true testament. I have a beautiful product out there. And again, just love what you do.
This show is the American dream. We go against the grain of the negative media, but if you could leave us just with a couple things, like what could go wrong? Why is it's so important to read this book? Maybe 3 things that could go wrong to watch out for and why we should read this book and understand it.
Yes, the very first thing that could go wrong is if you're creating a brand and you're creating a logo, such as Eadorables, you have to make sure you trademark that name. You need to be the first person to trademark the name early and often. Okay. And you have to use it in the right way as well. The second thing is not having a contract between the people that you're working with.
Okay, no contracts.
No contract, exactly. Make sure you have the right contract with those people.
Okay.
And the third thing that could go wrong, and you could pretty much lose everything, is not having the right entity to begin with.
Gotcha.
Such as, should you incorporate? What type of incorporation? Should it be a limited liability company? Those are the 3 musts that any entrepreneur out there must follow.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for being here. We'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
Hi, I'm Jenn Morris, co-host of The American Dream. Don't forget, you can always watch more of our content online and follow us along on social media.
Now we're going to take a look at Molly Odell, who's checking out an oceanfront property with Melissa Tucci. Let's go see what they're up to.
Hey everybody, Molly Odell here. From inland up to the mountains and all the way out to the beach, I get to bring you the best spots in San Diego, and today is no exception. I'm up here today in beautiful Oceanside with one of California's top realtors at a gorgeous oceanfront listing, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I am here with the official realtor of the San Diego Padres. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, and I just got told by a little birdie that you're also #1 in the state of California for Coldwell Banker.
I am, thank you.
That's huge, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So as we're starting into 2018, what's the real estate market looking like? What should we expect this year?
So there's a strong, great forecast for 2018. A lot of people are already putting their homes on the market. There's a lot of buyers already looking, so it's really getting off to a great start. A lot of positive energy in the marketplace, and a lot of people really hopeful for a great 2018.
Oh, I love hearing that. I mean, being in this industry, you just always want positive things, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so speaking of great homes hitting the market, we are at one of the most incredible listings I've ever been to. Where are we today?
So we're in Oceanside, and this is a beach property. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house. It's almost 3,000 square feet, and it has a separate detached guest house. That's another 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It has panoramic ocean views, a rooftop expansive deck, a 2-car garage, and you're within steps to the beach. It's absolutely amazing.
I love it, and I love how private it is over here. I mean, you have the backyard and everything like that. Where else can you find something like this?
You really can't. It's really one of a kind. The house itself was completely rebuilt in 2014. The guest house is only less than a couple years old. You have an enclosed backyard. You have alley access. I mean, it's amazing.
It's so incredible. When we were walking through the house, all the little details that they've put into this really makes you appreciate the house even more.
Absolutely. I mean, it has a gourmet kitchen. It has European oak floors. It has Carrara marble, high-end fixtures. I mean, you have a spa, an expansive rooftop deck. I mean, it feels like a beach home. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Okay, and after seeing that guest house, I think I would even take just living in that as well.
I know, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's a reverse floor plan. So you have the bedroom on the first floor, and then the living area, kitchen on the second floor. You have ocean views as well. It's absolutely spectacular.
I'm obsessed with this house, and I cannot wait to see what kind of family moves into it, because I know they're gonna love every single detail, just like I did while I was walking through it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me, I'm not very familiar with Oceanside. So I got to drive around a little bit today, but what's going on up here?
So there's so many different activities that really create a sense of community. On the second Saturday of every month, there's the Oceanside Historical Walk, which starts at the Civic Center. It goes to the pier. It goes to actually the famous Top Gun house.
It's here in Oceanside.
Mm-hmm. Here in Oceanside, where that was taped. And it's a 2-hour long tour. It goes at a very slow pace, so people of all ages could do it. It's no cost. The first Friday of every month is also the art walk, which features musicians, local poets, culinary, local restaurants and businesses. And then every Thursday is also a sunset market, which is a combination of a street fair and farmers market. And you get foods from all over the world, you get live entertainment. So there's so much to do here, and it's a real sense of community as well.
I could imagine. Well, after being around here and being able to hear the ocean and really feel this community out, I think I'm falling in love with Oceanside a little bit.
Yeah, it's a real find, and you don't have a property like this that comes on the market too often in such a great community.
I'm for sure gonna save up my pennies for this house.
Perfect.
So thank you so much, Melissa, for having me out in Oceanside today and showing me this stunning beachfront home.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
What did I tell you guys? I always get to bring you to the coolest spots in San Diego, and today was no exception. So thank you so much to Melissa Tucci, the official realtor of the San Diego Padres. You always know how to knock it out of the park.
Hi, I'm Sarah, co-host of The American Dream. If you want to check out more episodes, segments, or interviews, you can check us out online. You can also follow us on social media. Stay up to date with all things The American Dream.
We have a winner! Johnny, you won! You won!
Grandma? There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't ready. I know, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't, you hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
Hey, Craig Sewing here, your host of The American Dream. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I want to invite you to engage in the conversation outside of the show. How do you do that? Visit us online and on social media. We have so much activity happening there, full interviews, resources, all kinds of cool stuff that you can engage with us and our conversation and help support the American Dream, where we're combating all that negative stuff you see in the media. But don't forget, I also want to be your #1 consumer advocate, so anything we can help you with, finance, real estate, mortgage, tax planning, estate planning, even credit scoring, we have the resources and the relationships that we can help you. Visit us online, engage in the conversation on social media, and don't forget, we want to empower your American Dream, so reach out if you ever need anything. Thank you so much for tuning into the show, and thank you so much for following us on social media and engaging in the conversation. Cheers to your American Dream.
All right, thanks so much for watching. We had a great episode. We interviewed a lot of interesting authors. Don't forget to follow us online at AmericanDreamNetwork.tv. Again, I'm your host, Kara Kay. We'll see you next time.